All right, our SABC News reporter Ayanda Mhlongo is at kwaKhethomthandayo Palace in Nongoma in northern KwaZulu-Natal. As we did say, we're crossing to her every now and then to get the latest from there, from the Zululand district. Ayanda, very good afternoon to you once again. What can you tell us? What is the latest from the Zululand district?
Afternoon, Flo. What we can tell you at the moment is that the body of His Majesty King Goodwill Zwelithini Flo in that procession have now entered the area of Nongoma. And as we had indicated earlier on, that the body will be taken to the 5 other palaces that are here in Nongoma before the King makes his way here to the palace, the main palace, where we have been broadcasting from throughout the day. We do understand as well that there has been a slight change in plans that had initially been announced yesterday. If you remember, Inkosi Buthelezi, in his capacity as the traditional Prime Minister for the Zulu monarch and the nation, had indicated that His Majesty would lie in state for some days, at least 3 days. However, there has been changes to that. You know that Inkosi Buthelezi also announcing, of course, that His Majesty had succumbed to COVID-19 related complications, and in concern for safety of the public who may have wanted to come through and view His Majesty as he laid in state, they've then decided that that is no longer going to happen. A statement was issued a few hours ago by Inkosi Buthelezi in his capacity as a Prime Minister to the Zulu monarch and of course the Zulu nation, indicating that of course there had been some changes, that they are concerned of course that this happens at a time when the country is battling the scourge of COVID-19. Then they need to take cognizance of the fact that they would not want anyone else to contract COVID-19, and to ensure that of course they had to adhere to the COVID-19 precautionary measures. And so as a result then they've decided to make some changes. You understand at the moment, Flo, that what will happen is His Majesty, after he arrives here at the palace where we are, he will then be taken to a local mortuary. That is the information that we have at the moment. Of course there are being changes are being made at time as time goes on. And in terms of the announcements, the funeral arrangements, Inkosi Buthelezi has said that they are going to be announced. All the details are going to be announced in due course. He's also warned and cautioned people not to come through to the palace, of course, because of these concerns of COVID-19, and also then saying in that statement that His Majesty's funeral is going to be broadcast live, and they are appealing to members of the public, knowing very well that people from all across South Africa would have wished to come through and in person pay their respects, but that they are appealing to South Africans to stay at home for their safety. Of course, Flo, you know, today has been about the mourners that have been streaming through here to the palace to pay their respects to the family, to the monarch, from Amakos, as we're saying, to Izinduna, local representatives of local government here in KwaZulu-Natal, as well as the community of mainly KwaNongoma and other people that have been coming through from various areas. And this, of course, has been a difficult time, particularly for the traditional leaders here in KwaZulu-Natal and the areas and the communities in which they lead and represent. And now I'm going to be joined by one of our traditional leaders to speak about what his feelings and what this loss is for them as traditional leaders here in KwaZulu-Natal. Asibonga kakhulu shenge isikhathi sakho ndaba zethu, mhlambe ke masingabuza sizwe isikhathi sinzima kakhulu lesi ndaba zethu njengoba nimele imphakathi, nimele izizwe zenu, ninomthwalo ukuthi nize lana nani njengabaholi nizobonga umswane.
Ngithokoze msakazi uhloniphekile. Okokuqala ngilibamba bukhosi ezweni sakwaButhelezi, bambela umntwana waphinda ngene okungena nduna nkulu kaZulu. Njengamanje njengoba intatheli kade ichaza igcizelela ngabo ubuhlungu esinabo sonke. Sinamakhosi ngokwehlukahlukana ezizwe la ezokwemukela isilo, ezokwemukela nomntwana okwaphinda ngene njengonduna nkulu kaZulu. kodwa umntwana agcizelele namanje lokade egcizelwa intatheli ithi nesimo seCovid abantu bengazi ngobuningi babo mhlambe lapha yebo ubuhlungu bushaya khona einhlizweni kodwa sikhumbule ukuthi nesiluqobo besigcizelela ngendaba ukuthi abantu akufanele bahlangane singaze sakujabulela ukuthi abantu bahlanganela bese behlanganela ukuthi emva kwaso bese singabiki isizwe sikhalela kakhulu isizwe South Africa ngokuhanjelwa inkosi efana nale eminyakeni eyibusile nasendleleni efundiseke ngayo siyamkhalela umntwana ngobudelezi umntwana ngophindangene engimbambela isikhundla sengazathi uNkulunkulu angamkhumbula ngaso sonke isikhathi soba mpha amandla ngibika ke nezingane lezi zasekhaya zesilo sengathi uNkulunkulu angayihlanganisa zingangenwa ngumoya wekhova ziphile nje impilo enhle zenze sengazathi ubaba sekhona noma izimo zempilo ezizokwenza zikushintshe lokho kodwa siyacela uNkulunkulu ukuthi ayisize amen.
Shenge masingakhuluma ngeqhaza nje elibanjwe ongangezwe nani nawe nizomkhumbula kanjani?
Siyomkhumbula ongangezwe lakhe ebiza imicimbi le yokulungiselela izingane zethu ukuthi asingabi lovanzi ngokuqala lokho simkhumbule ekhisizwe ngokuhlola ukuthi umuntu useyintombi into somkhumbula kakhulu ngalokho simkhumbule ebiza insizwa ukuthi insizwa kusezinsizwa impela okukhulu kakhulu esomkhumbula kuze bebuhlungu enhlizweni zethu ubetha silime ongangezwe lakhe naye ngumlimi enenkomo okukhulu ngaphekwa konke ethi akalifuni ivila akayifuni igebengu akamfuni umuntu obulala abanye abantu ilonto esomkhumbula ngawo kakhulu.
Shenge asibonga kakhulu isikhathi sakhe. The acting Nkosi of the Buthelezi clan there speaking to us. Of course, a difficult time for the traditional leaders, but he's made his remarks saying for him the legacy that His Majesty leaves behind relates to moral regeneration. He says he'll remember the king for reviving several various traditions, the reed dance being one where he would call about young girls, would speak to them, instill good moral values. He also said most importantly how the king would encourage people to work the land, how they encourage people to start their own harvest their own crops, and he said the king was one who encouraged people to work and utilize the land that they had, utilize the skills that they had. And he's saying that he's very, very deeply saddened by the loss of His Majesty, of course also reiterating the importance of people ensuring that they adhere to the COVID-19 regulations. Flo, as I said, we understand in about an hour or so, His Majesty could likely be making, or the body of the late King Goodwill Zwelithini will be making its way here to the palace. For now, we're going to leave it here and back to you.
All right, Ayanda, we'll certainly be catching up with you at that point.